I want to pose a question from the Q&A to Dr. Harris, and this is particularly reminiscent of your attention toward the need for engaging across religious traditions and boundaries and thinking about the futurity and some of the generationalism. So this question asks about it's referring to the Judas and Black Messiah film that has come out. And this viewer was reminded of how important it is to have youthful leadership for any movement focusing on social change. So they're asking about your thoughts of how you would see the uh, movement to use wisdom and grace of the elders to ensure that younger leaders can actually play a role in the future of these movements. So what should that look like, and what are your thoughts about that?
Thanks for the question. Thanks so much, Dr. Johnson. It's an important one, I think, that many Black churches are grappling with, especially after the documentary. Many Black churches across the United States of America, and I suppose globally, have always received critique about the fact that we have never paid attention or not enough attention to youth. There are certainly great examples of those who are. I'm thinking of Frederick Douglass Haynes, the third at Friendship West Baptist Church in Dallas, Texas, certainly Trinity in Chicago with Dr. Moss, and certainly the kind of legacy of the Samuel DeWitt Proctor Conference. These are organizations that are connected to, and they themselves are, Black churches that lift up the voices of younger people and see them as elders, right? So there, and some of that I think is in part because these Black churches are particularly open and embody an African-centered nature. That is to say that there is a sense in which there is a kind of practice of indigenous Black African religion happening, even as those churches are also Black and Christian. There's a deep, deep commitment to the fluidity, but also the plurality of all of Black religiosity in these particular spaces. They understand themselves not to be spaces of Christian doctrine and upholding Christian doctrine without any question, but they understand themselves to be truly embodiments of Black liberation theology. And as we all know, that legacy unfolds in ways that it goes way beyond Christianity. It goes way beyond Islam. It goes way beyond any kind of mainstream religion, but it recognizes that all of African peoples practice a variety of different religious traditions in their Blackness. I happened to have been on a wonderful conference, Black and Buddhist, earlier today, a summit that's being hosted by an extraordinary group of people really celebrating the book that has just come out, Black and Buddhist. I want to lift up the work of Cheryl Dries and Ayua here, in part because there is a way in which within the practice of Buddhism, many African American practitioners are now coming to the same question that Dr. Cohn often asked all of his students: what is Black about your theology? And here, for many practitioners of Buddhism, the question is, what do you believe about your Blackness and its impact on the Dharma? What do you believe about your Blackness and its impact on Buddhism? And how do you practice Black Buddhism, particularly in a space in the United States of America where the history of Buddhism is webbed on kind of whiteness, and even the understanding of the racial components of Buddhism, right? This is a tradition that is not coming out of Europe. It is not coming out of white European understanding. It's coming out of Asia. And there is a sense in which there are erasures of Asian legacy and heritage that are embedded in the practice of Buddhism in the United States of America. What then does it mean to be a person of African descent and to find peace and value and mindfulness in Black Buddhism, and to be able to reclaim that religion for the empowerment of Blackness? We have a long way to go in recognizing the deep, deep humanity, but the sacredness of all religiosity and the sacredness of Blackness, and being able to create spaces for all of those conversations and the ring shout and the dancing and the singing and the songs, and to hear the voices of ancestors who practice a number of different religions in our own hearts and in our own selves and in our own voices. To create the space, I think that's the charge of religious communities in this day.